Ladies and gentlemen, she is taking talk shows to another level. She will inform, inspire, educate, and entertain you. And she is funny. It's Ayesha on the A Show.
Good evening, people. It's another edition of the A Show. And today, once again, I'm going to be profiling another prominent man. He is the head pastor of International Central Gospel Church, East Legon branch, Yahweh Temple, Reverend Ismaila, Awudu. He's an entrepreneur, a businessman, a husband, a father to many, and he just simply loves God. He's been on our show before. He was inspiring to us, and I'm so excited that today he's honoring us with his presence once again. I can't tell you how much I admire this man of God. He's coming to share with us again his life story and journey, because it's so many that we could not finish the last time he was here. I'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll start talking with him. We'll be right back.
It's Ayesha on the A Show.
Aquaba is the feeling of joy when you know you are home, where you sleep in luxury and comfort, and wake up to the breeze of the Atlantic Ocean. Aquaba to Labadi Beach Hotel, where the food is fresh and the smiles are genuine. Now you know you are home. Ghana's finest 5-star hotel, Labadi Beach Hotel. The legacy lives on.
It's Ayesha on the A Show.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, like you heard from my introduction, the man of God is in the house. He's an entrepreneur, a businessman, the head pastor of Icgc, Yahweh Temple, East Legon. He is my papa. It's the second time he's visiting us. And like I said, we started with him in profiling him. He has a lot to offer. He has a lot to share. We didn't finish. You, our viewers, asked that we bring him back. So we've granted you your wish. Our guests on the A Show, Reverend Ismaila, Awudu.
Thank you, Ayesha.
Welcome back on the A Show, Papa.
Thank you so much for having me back. It's good to be back.
I'm happy that you're back. It takes some of us to be able to bring our head pastors, our inspirers on our show.
I thank them for bringing me back.
Oh, wow, I am happy to bring you back, even if they didn't ask to bring you back, honestly, but it's collective, and so I'm glad that you could honor us and come back to us. So, Papa, the first time you joined us, you shared your life's journey with us. You shared your story, where you came from, how you started, and how you became a pastor to begin with, and to have also chosen to be the pastor of Icgc. The journey has been relentless, and you're still moving stronger and stronger. You are also the chairman for Ghana Road Safety Commission. I'm going to start my interview today from that angle, especially because we're having a lot of accidents on our roads. Some say it's negligence, some say it's just carelessness. People are getting drunk, people are just being indisciplined, for a lack of a better word. Do you agree with these thoughts?
Thank you very much, Ayesha, and it's good bringing me back, like you rightly said from the beginning, and to all your viewers out there, your cherished viewers. And I must commend your team and yourself for the great work you are doing out there.
Thank you so much.
Inspiring a lot of people, bringing hope to them, and getting people to share their lives and also to encourage them. And I think it's a good work.
Thank you.
And I want to commend the A Show for a greater impact that it's doing. And we love what you are doing, and we celebrate you.
I take it. Thank you so much, Papa.
Thank you. And on the issue of the issues of our crashes of fatalities on our roads, if you recall, from 2015 till now, our accident keeps increasing. And some people say it's the issue of engineering, which has to do with our roads. Others also think it's, like you rightly said, reckless driving and all that. Others also feel there is not enough of education, so they always call on road safety and trying to find out what they are doing about the issues. Others also lay the blame squarely at the foot of government and all those things. Obviously. And others also blame the police for enforcement and all that. I would say that the issues of the fatalities on our road has been a combination of issues. But largely among them has to do with attitudinal. Statistically, it looks like about 70 to 80% of the fatalities on our roads are as a result of attitudes.
Okay.
And these attitudes have to do with the disrespect for road traffic regulations, obeying of signals, overspeeding, impatient on our roads, drink driving, texting whilst driving, lack of seat belts.
Am I guilty?
Wrongful overtaking without first taking time to do it. People also crossing roads, which we call jaywalking, without necessarily crossing at where they are supposed to cross the road. They cross the road anywhere, and sometimes with earphones, sometimes listening to phone calls.
So they don't hear the sound.
They don't hear the sound of the car, and sometimes listen to music while they are crossing the road. And all of these adds up to, or they have a footbridge where they need to cross, and they will feel that the footbridge is far, and so they have to cross wherever they are standing. So all these things are factors that are adding to it. Add up to maybe our roads, which also don't have proper, some of them don't have proper line markings. Others have potholes that are not sealed. Some of the roads are not properly motorable. You realize that we leave also objects on the road. The case in point of Ebony's issue and all that, where we are not doing proper road auditing to clear the roads and all those things. So it's a multiplicity of factors. The other issue has to do with lack of resources to push into certain state transport agency areas. Talk of roads and highways, National Road Safety Commission, MTTD police, to resource them enough to be able to carry on both in terms of human resource and financial and all of that. All of this comes to play as far as the issues of accidents on the road are concerned. But like I said, typically it has to do with attitudinal. For instance, we have what we call the high occupancy vehicles, which has to do with our VIP buses, Metro Mass and all that, and like exactly what we witnessed on the Kintampo Road and all those things.
That was very fatal.
So sad that it shouldn't have been. That road, that stretch of road is a very good road.
Very good road.
With good line markings and all that. So you ask, why should that be? It will amaze you to know that even when the N1 was not constructed, the accident rate on the N1 was lower. Until when the road was made, that it rather increases. Sometimes it's ironic that when our roads are rather not bad, they are in poor shape, drivers tend to slow down because they are afraid of their cars, and that reduces accidents.
Is it that we take it for granted that it's good road, so we can just drive recklessly?
It's not about taking it for granted. It's about we adhering to safety measures. Okay, because you see, when the road is not good, there is some kind of mindset that I need to protect my car, my shocks and everything. So I need to slow down in the potholes and not to drive through it. When the road is motorable and is smooth, I have another perception that I need to speed on it so that I can arrive quickly. And that is where the danger is. When the road is rather smooth, that is where you need to be more defensive in driving than when it is not even better. So you realize that these high occupancy buses, like I said, they also have owners or transport owners who gave it to them. And one thing we don't realize that they have given them a quota to meet. So because of the quota they have given them to me in terms of sales, it forces them to be in a hurry to make money to pay the transport owner, and also get something,
also make something for themselves.
So a journey that they are supposed to make maybe one and come back, they want to do it 3 times and come back. And fatigue sets in. And once fatigue sets in, they sometimes end up sleeping whilst they are driving. And once you are on a top speed, overtaking, and you are feeling sleepy, of course, you are totally off balance. So these are some of the factors and the challenges. Not to talk of dualization of our roads, which we need to actually see, because so many years down the lane after independence, most of our roads need to be dualized, so that it can help with the movement of the cars. Whilst we intensify education And with that, I say that intensification of education means that we get these our transport drivers and everything to go through vigorous training as far as the airline is concerned, because before they get their license, before they renew their license, they have to go for training,
Okay.
DVLA, and get education of safety before they step on the road. The other thing also has to, we now looking at it as a nation, to begin to have rest stops, major rest stops on our major highways
For the drivers.
for the drivers,
To be able to
so that when they
rest.
so that they can rest, where there will be a police station, there will be a restaurant, whatever it is, for stretching and for resting and all that. When we put all those factors in place, it will drastically, and adding enforcement, and then also getting this Pro Tour and all those people for them to fix in maybe speed limits into the buses, so that when you are going maybe 120 or 110, when it gets there, you go beyond it, your engine can cease. All these are measures to be able to reduce our accidents on our roads.
Reverend, are we able to do these measures that you are talking about?
We will
as a
be able
people?
to do it. It's about the nation having the will to be able to come together to fight a common carnage that is killing us.
Okay.
It will surprise you to know that road accidents kills more than HIV all over the world. And if some people are being able to come out, we are in this country where we decided to fight galamsey, and at least, if not for anything, galamsey has reduced drastically. HIV, we fought it, and it has reduced drastically. So it's about the will of the people. I was saying on a certain radio station that the problem we have is that we sometimes get overwhelmed by things that are happening, and we don't want to support certain issues. But if we take it upon ourselves as a people, as a nation, and realize that, look, the carnages on our road are too much, let's all come on board and fight this canker, I believe strongly we will go a long way of reducing it. Passengers will be responsible to be able to check drivers. They can even tell the driver that you have driven us to a point, stop and let us all rest. And they can demand that because it's their right. Transport owners will also be spoken to, like Pro Tour, GPRET, station masters.
Reverend, not to cut you, but I think that's the one key thing is the discipline that you
It's a
talk about.
discipline.
Because if you say that passengers can actually tell the driver that, you know what, you can stop.
Yeah.
It's the reverse.
Yeah.
Drivers would rather, the passengers would rather tell you, hurry up because we hurry to get to our destination.
And sometimes you might even, I don't know whether you realize it, somebody might be slowing down on a road and you have the right to overtake. Immediately you realize you are overtaking, it's also speeding up.
Exactly.
So it becomes like a race on the road.
We don't even know each other from nowhere.
Meanwhile, by the road traffic regulations, once I am overtaking you, you slow down and create space for me to be able to come in. So these are the little things that if we start checking ourselves and being each other's keeper, I believe it will go a long way. Because you see, education alone without enforcement is entertainment.
It's entertainment. I agree
So
with
it's
you.
very, very important that once
agree
road
with
safety
you.
is doing its education, we get the enforcement bit, we get the public support, so that we all start to check each other. And once we become each other's keeper, I believe the carnages on our roads will really reduce.
Reverend Ismaila, it's not by mistake that you are the chairman for Ghana Road Safety Commission. I know, even if I don't know much, you are my head pastor.
Yeah.
And every Sunday you impact on us in church. And so I know that you have a passion for everything that you set your hands to do. And you are results oriented. And so being the chairman for road safety, now, with these situations that are happening, I believe that you have measures in place that would help, because the ideas are good, but we need to see the actualization of these ideas, because that is what is actually going to be more impactful for us moving forward. How are you helping us to change this mindset? You know, because your influence would help a lot in helping us to get here. You speak to us by virtue of the fact that we are members in your church. We listen, at least most of us do. I want to believe we all do. Yes. And so do you also engage other people, but in a total, impactation. I'm looking at what is the way forward in us getting the good results that we are looking for.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ayesha. It's good you asked this question. When I became the board chairman for National Road Safety Commission, I put in a lot of initiatives.
Okay.
To be able to, just like you rightly said, anywhere I go, I just want to see results.
That's right.
And so the first initiative I put together was us to be able to spread across what we call the ambassadorial and the advocacy role.
Okay.
So I made sure that is to be able to get everybody on board to start talking about safety.
Safety.
That it should not be only one person or an institutional job, but safety should be everybody's concern. And thankfully, we were able to solicit a lot of prominent people to join us to be able to champion the cause of safety.
Okay.
People like Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tete, we got all of them. Recently, we had enough to speak to the Overlord of Dagbon to be able to solicit his support for road safety.
So
He's giving us his word that we should come back again and then engage him properly and decorate him as a road safety advocate.
Oh, nice.
I've had occasion of speaking to Uncle Ebo White, which I've also expressed interest to be able to become road safety advocate. We are here to decorate them. We've also been able to have a lot of them who have also buy into this initiative of safety. So that is the first step we took. The other thing that we have done is also not only engaging people to buy into safety, but also to engage with the IGP.
Okay.
Engage with also commanders of various regions, MTTD commanders and regional commanders, so that they intensify their enforcement issues, so that we look at the enforcement and all that. And we've had a very good collaborations with them. We've had several meetings with IGP, we have several meetings with these commanders, and they are all partnering with road safety to be able to push road safety agenda in terms of ensuring that we enforce safety rules on the road. So they've started. The other thing was that I realized the Road Safety Commission was only a commission. And as a commission, they cannot bite.
Okay.
They only bring in recommendations to their stakeholders, be it the road engineering or enforcement, which could be taken or be neglected.
That's right.
So, and also, I also realized that the transport sector for a long time has been left unregulated. So they do whatever they like. They can choose to obey or not to obey. So having engaged the Minister of Roads and Transport, luckily they are all passionate for safety. And from the Road Safety Commission, from the board, and from the Minister to the President, a listening one, of course, the President has given us an express cabinet approval for road safety not to become a commission, but to become an authority going forward. Now, road safety becoming an authority simply means that they are going to enforce what we call institutional compliance. So when it gets to road engineering, for instance, line markings, clearing of the road, dualization, planning of roads, road safety will be more involved with it. So it shall not be a recommendation they are giving by itself. It's going to be something that they are involved with the planning and the engineering of it. So the President has given us the cabinet approval for road safety to become an authority.
That's very good.
And by that, they are going to enforce what we call institutional compliance. So instead of now engaging their stakeholders like MTTD, like roads and highways and all that, to be able to, when it comes to engineering and enforcement, they are now going to enforce compliance.
Okay.
So when road engineering is not done well, road safety now has the bite to take on the road engineering and put in their input and ensure that safety measures are incorporated in the road infrastructure. When it comes to enforcement, they are able to also engage the MTTD and everything and enforce that they enforce what we call compliance in terms of compliance on the roads. So these are some of the things that road safety is coming to do. So it's quite laudable that the President has helped us, the Minister has also gone ahead to help us, and very soon Attorney General has finished with his work, and very soon Parliament is going to pass that law for road safety to become an authority. Now, if you know, the President also supported National Road Safety Commission.
That's right.
After the Ebony issues and all those, we talked about an action president who also want to see results. And based on that, National Road Safety Commission has recruited a lot of people because our number then was not enough.
Okay.
So through the NAPCOF and all that, we've recruited some 300 first. We are recruiting additional 500, which are being scattered all over the country, and who are doing education from lorry stations to everywhere, educating drivers.
That'll be a lot of like 800 recruits.
Exactly, and they are doing that all over. I just came from the Northern. I told you I've been in Kumasi as well.
And I want to touch briefly on your Northern tour.
Exactly. board members are not sitting on the board. They went down on the ground for monitoring and evaluation to see that the work is going on. And that is how what tells you that we are really working. And not only that, we engaged the Ghana Journalists Association with their president, thankful to them. And then they were there, we met with them, we had an engagement with their senior editors. We had one in Accra, we had one in Kumasi to take care of the central point and the northern part. That we did Accra. And so you realize that somewhere November, December, thereabout, our campaign and education went viral. Because we got the support of the media. And that tells you of the action. And all these are implementation from the board level, our initiative to push. And with the support of the president and the minister and the government initiative, we are getting all this is going. So road safety is seriously on the ground. And we are pushing for everything. We are going to come out with driver education. Because we read either to, most of these drivers are driving without the needed education. So we can't wait for them any longer. We've partnered with DVLA and we are going to roll out driver education to train drivers, almost about 500 plus drivers, to give them true training all over the country. To be able to sensitize them on how to drive and to drive effectively. We are also, apart from it, apart from the education and everything, we are putting a lot of measures in there to be able to get drivers and to get everybody on board to become more focused in terms of their delivery as far as the road is concerned. So I believe we are really on course and we need everybody's backing. We need everybody's support. As we speak now, we are reviewing the LI 2180, which talks about motorcycles and all that. You know, the motorcycles and the tricycles, which you call them the Abubuya in the north, they call them the yellow and all those things. I mean, you know the nuisance that is causing in our country
a lot. The indiscipline is too much, even with them.
Exactly. So we are torn between road safety through the Ministry of Transport, doing a very good job. I have to give it up for the sector minister, Honorable Siama, is doing quite a lot of great work as far as the road safety sector is concerned and the transport sector is concerned. It needs to be commended because it's doing really, really well. And support by the president as well. He's been able to put together a whole team. We are engaging all stakeholders within the sector of transport, the critical players and all those things to look, and it's an engagement throughout the region to be able to solicit ideas, input, to deliberate on whether we regularize these motorcycles or tricycles or not to regularize them. So whilst we get that,
I look forward to the outcome of that.
Please, it's very
and
we want the media and everybody to follow up on it.
I look out for that.
Exactly.
So you'll be wondering why he's a man of God and we're here talking about road safety. And you can tell from the passion in the way he's answering the questions that he is passionate about this. And like I said, he never touches anything without making an impact. I think that some people are just born with that kind of a blessing. And so, yes, he is a man of God. He is a prophet, actually, and a good one at that. Maybe you are yet to experience him, but trust me, this man right here is a man of many colors. I must be honest with you. And so listening to him and the way he's passionate about road safety, that is the same way he's passionate about his church, the same way he's passionate about his business. And it's the same way he's passionate about the people that experience him. Papa, the last time you were here, we talked about how you encountered God and, you know, the journey so far. We know that it hasn't been easy. You are still making yourself more knowledgeable. You're reading to acquire your PhD. How do you do it?
Thank you very much, Ayesha. Like you rightly said, I'm somebody who is always keep moving.
That's right.
I don't believe in...
How do you get the energy?
Yes, I don't believe in standing. I believe in moving.
That's right.
And I believe in always challenging myself and stretching. Because I realize that the very day you stop, that is the day you die.
Merci.
But the more you are running, the more you keep hope and have life. So right from my childhood days, like you rightly said, I grew up in from a very challenging environment. And my family was not that privileged to have resources. My father, actually was an ex-military man from the Gold Coast
Era.
soldier.
Oh, soldier.
Exactly. He was a chef, like I said before,
Yeah.
in those days. And then when he retired from the military, he was working for white men and cooking for them as a chef and all that. That is where some of us were born. So I was born in cantonments and all that. And then we move on to Nungwa, where I started growing up in Nungwa and all that. But they are all within challenging circumstances. When you go to Nungwa right now and you ask of Adiza Mami Wache, everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
And when you
Obviously,
mention
you love your
Ismaila, they
Wacha.
know the person because that was what she was doing. When my father died when I was in class 6, he has to sell those things to take care of us. And we couldn't afford textbook, we didn't afford anything. But I have the passion to study because we grew among fishing folks. I have every choice to have landed to be there alone, and because sometimes we stick, we follow these fishing guys, we go in and all those things. But I have the passion to read, to study, because I saw a future that I know that when I pushed towards it will be. Though we were financially challenged, I took it upon myself. I borrowed friends' textbooks, I will read it, I will learn, I will push myself, do menial jobs and all those things just to pay for my fees and be able to go to school. And that has kept me going. So that inspiration and passion has been with me that the greatest gift you can give to yourself is education. And the more you educate yourself, the more better you become. So that is why when I even finished my theology, my degree in theology, I didn't rest. I pushed on to still have my MPhil in global leadership. And once I did my MPhil in global leadership, I realized that no, I need to go further. And that is why you see me now enroll, doing my PhD with Walden University in the United States of America. And very soon, I'm about to finish my PhD, to your information.
Yay.
and sometimes I have to sleep, I have to burn the midnight candle.
Do you sleep?
My earliest time of sleeping is after 3 a.m.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm a nocturnal being.
You are nocturnal to a fault. Wow.
But one thing I do is that I also don't joke with my exercise.
Oh, wow. He looks all well and nice. Yes, he is. And don't be deceived. He's a young man though, but he's not young like that too. Behind this strong-willed man, it's a whole church that looks up to him. It's a whole company that looks up to him. And every day you encounter people, you impact. What drives you?
What drives me in life is that I want to see people happy. I want to see people who are, in quotes, not somebody becoming somebody. Anytime I see that I've contributed into a life and that life is excelling, I rejoice.
Yes, bless you.
And anywhere I enter, I believe everybody has a potential and everybody has a reason to live and to become great. So if you watch me, I don't look down upon people. I don't discriminate whether somebody is poor or rich. My people always laugh at me because my number is a common number that everybody even has. I don't have secret or any number. It's a common number. You reach me anytime. People call me, you don't get me, I call you back. People ask me, how do you do it? It's because I love people. It's because I know that people are the best investment you can put in. And when you put investment in people, they become great. So everywhere I've been, even like you find me on the board of National Road Safety Commission, I run the board like a family.
That's right.
I deal with the commission, from the executive director to every member of the commission, like we are a family. When we are wrong, we speak about it and we move on. I feel that life is too sweet to become bitter. Life is too sweet to harbor pain. People will wrong you, but let it go. I like, you know my story. I've been hurt in so many areas. I've been betrayed in so many times. But I still love those people. I still reach out to them because I believe that is the best way we can all live and be able to grow. So this is what keeps me going. This is what motivates me to really see that people's lives are bettered and they stand out to become what God wants them to be. And that is the little I can contribute into their life. So every time I'm looking out for the way I will put a smile on somebody's face and to encourage somebody to stand out so that tomorrow they can see him. And you know, through that I've contributed to a lot of lives. And by the grace of God, they are all now up there. And I still follow them and I still encourage them. And that is my motivation.
We are still here with Reverend Ismaila Awudu, the head pastor of Icgc Yahweh Temple, East Legon. I don't know about you, but I am very inspired already. We have more to go. We'll go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
It's Ayesha on the A Show.
Aquaba is the feeling of joy when you know you are home, where you sleep in luxury and comfort, and wake up to the breeze of the Atlantic Ocean. Aquaba to Labadi Beach Hotel, where the food is fresh and the smiles are genuine. Now you know you are home. Ghana's finest 5-star hotel, Labadi Beach Hotel. The legacy lives on.
It's Ayesha on the A Show.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, you are watching the A Show, and I'm here with the head pastor of International Central Gospel Church, East Legon branch, Icgc, Yahweh Temple. The pastor, the Reverend, is Reverend Ismaila Awudu. It's my papa. By this, I'm asking you to join us one of these Sundays, and I trust that your life will never be the same. Trust me, if you come, you won't go back. Papa, we're back.
Thank you.
Your style is different in terms of your pastoral style.
Yeah.
And a few people who have heard you would say that you're different. Do you hear that, those compliments, that you're different?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of times. People even ask me, how do I get the words and get all those things?
So, but those of us that, are privileged to always, hear you speak to us every Sunday, know where you are coming from and know who you are. But for those that just hear you in passing and they say, oh, he's different, but they say it in a nice way.
Yeah.
What brought about this difference that you have that everybody is talking about? Because people see it.
Yeah.
And they don't just keep quiet about it, now they are saying it.
Exactly. Let me tell you one, even today, before I came here, I was at Golden Tulip.
Okay.
For us to go and have some lunch, and I was being introduced to a man, and immediately the man shook my hand. He said, are you a pastor?
Okay.
When they have not been told.
Exactly.
He said, and I said, why? He said, everything around you, there is something around you that tells you that you are a pastor.
Wow.
So we started laughing.
Wow.
And most times, like you really said, I go to places, and when people have not even heard me, apart from those who have heard me, they also made those comments. Basically, what I realized is that when I got saved, I realized that the best bet is to depend wholly on God. And so I really don't joke with my prayer life.
Okay.
And my seriousness with God. Because one thing I realize is that there is nothing I can hide from the Lord.
Okay.
It says in Psalm 139, he said, for whence can I run away from the presence of the Lord? When I go under the sea, he's there. Even when there is darkness, he's light. So it means that there is nothing I can hide from me. It means that I have to be transparent before God.
That's right.
So a character like David inspires me a lot. So I studied a lot about him. So what I took upon myself is to be honest with God.
Okay.
I'm not perfect. I have my weaknesses, I have my challenges, I have my frailty. So I go to him, and he knows my inside out, because he made me.
That's right.
So that he can help me where I am weak, strengthen me where I need strengthened, encourage me where I need to be encouraged, and be with me. So I'm real and naked before him. And that has really helped me. So based on that same being real and naked with me, he puts a burden in my heart to be able to preach his message, to be more real and more practical. So if you realize the message I preach or the message I share from the Bible, I made it more practical and more real with your life and my life. So that at the end of the day, you get to relate with the Word of God, because the Word of God is not abstract. The Word of God is practical. And we need to live it every day. Not criticizing one another, not discriminating against one another, not looking down upon one another, but bringing everybody on board. where none tries to become holier than thou. Because if Jesus could look at a prostitute and did not take a stone also to stone the prostitute, why should we stone a prostitute? Why should we become so judgmental? And I always say that now the church is getting to a point that where we are rather driving people out of the church than bringing them to
in.
us.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch the style of Jesus. Jesus at a certain time was going to enter into a city or a town. And his disciples said that, listen, because they are not allowing us to go in, they'll be like Elijah, call down fire and let it come to consume. They say, you don't know the spirit that you are made of. In other words, there is a different law. And that law does not mean that we should behave that way.
Behave that way.
So I come up from the point of love. And that love compels me to share just like Christ as a burden for a soul. That at the end of the day, we should live by what the Bible tells us. We should move by what we do. And we should also know that change, transformation is not instant. It's a gradual steps. Just like a child or toddler who is learning how to walk. When you give that child time, that child will eventually be perfected in walking. But when you rush the child, you will break his bones. And you will think he's not good. In the same way when it comes to Christianity, we need to be patient with the growth process of our congregants. And over a period, the level of maturity we expect them to get to, they will get there. And when they get there, we don't need to tell them certain things, they will do it. So that is what you see. So I get involved with what I preach. And I live by what I preached. I try to move by the same way. I listen to my messages more.
Okay.
It is surprising. People can't listen to their message, but I listen to it. Why? Because I believe the message is not mine.
That's right.
The message is inspired from God. So God did not send me to tell the people, but it's alone. But it sent me to tell the people and also myself. So when I finish preaching to the people, I also need to listen to myself and also take it from it. So that is what makes it more different.
You are different, and in a good way. And some say he's too much of a realist. Are you too much of a realist?
Yes, I'm a realist. That is my that is my
much of a realist.
Yes, that is my orientation actually. I'm a humanitarian and I'm a realist. I believe that look, things are real and you should be able to move by that.
Yes, because in your preaching, you practically just, take us like on a journey, and you make it so real in how you deliver.
Exactly.
Papa, you're coming back on this show. I equally I've planned something for you because I said that I didn't want you to come back the second time and we'll just take from you. I wanted to use the other segments of this show to just celebrate you because I believe that in as much as you are impacting life, we should also celebrate you.
Thank you.
Because the more you give, you should be able to get back, to replenish everything that you give back to us. Thank God. My phone call worked and this beautiful soul is here to join us on the Ayesha. Papa, you're surprised. Oh my God! I did it! Thank you so much, Mommy dearest. Please have a seat.
And I was with her. She didn't tell me anything.
She didn't have to tell you anything. Papa, then it would have stopped being a surprise. She didn't have to tell you anything. So for my viewers, yes, I'm sorry. I had to let you, you just have to watch this and trust me, this is beautiful. Mrs. Ismaila Awudu. Mommy dearest, it's so good to have you on the A-Show.
Thank you.
The first for you. Welcome on set the A-Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for helping me to surprise my...
It's really a surprise.
Yes, it is. It's a big one.
I can say he's surprised.
No, you know that he is, right?
Yes.
If you say it, then yes, he is. I'm so happy. Viewers, my head pastor is surprised. I'm happy.
You're a bad girl.
Oh no! Oh no, I'm not. Mommy dearest, Reverend Ismaila, it's your husband. If anybody knows him, it will be you, aside his parents and
Yeah.
probably his siblings. But you know him so well because you live with him. And the energy that he has, there must be a secret that we don't know. Do you mind sharing that secret with us? The secret that can be heard, of course.
Well,
What drives him?
Let me say thank you very much for inviting me here for me to be a surprise to this dear husband of mine.
Oh, thank you so much.
And let me say thank you for viewers too. One thing I have come to realize in my husband's life is it's all about God. You can't take God
Out of anything.
out of anything. And you cannot fight him when it comes to God. You can't delay him when it comes to God. He sleeps is God. He wakes up is God. Anything about him is God. Aside that, I think being a very virtuous woman in a home, every man needs a virtuous woman beside him. And I always say that there is a wife material and there is a marriage material. I think marriage material is all about you being concerned about your husband. Not only he being the pastor, but maybe any kind of husband who knows his role in the home and his responsibility. Where you have the interest of his personal life, his going and his coming, and make sure you support him in anything that he does. And that alone will also encourage him to go a long way to achieve what God has purposed in his life. So I think that is the secret behind this success.
All right, you heard it. Behind every successful man, there is a strong, successful woman. She's the woman. Mommy dearest, a surprise day. Papa is so surprised. I want you to just take it all in, you know, and yes. You know what? He's strong, he's strong-willed, and he's a force to reckon with. Don't get it twisted. But yes, we were able to get him to be all emotion, and for a few seconds be lost for words because he left her at home only to find her on set with him on the A show. Ayesha, you're a bad girl. Be very careful. It is fine. I haven't done any crime yet.
You know, it got to a point where he started interfering. Like, you said you are going to a friend place. Won't you go? I said I will go. We went somewhere and said, let's go. Your time is, you know, gone. So you have to be in a hurry. You have to be there on time. And I could see he's having some funny feeling. And he keeps on asking me questions. And I said, you go. In fact, I won't go in again. I would like to rest.
Stay in the house.
But little did he know that where I said I was going is to come to him and to surprise him. He's really, really surprised.
I am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I mean, I would have hit myself so hard if I had not asked you to do this for me, because especially because the two other people that we meant to, you know, add to the surprise were not able to make it. So I'm so happy that, I mean, yours worked, because you were supposed to be the icing on the cake, the last surprise. And indeed, she ended up being the nicest one, because even though the two were not able to make it, you made it here. Papa, before, I don't want you to leave. I want us to talk about relationship now that Mommy has joined you, because I know that you also are a relationship expert. When we say somebody is a relationship expert, what are we talking about?
Okay. Thank you very much for such a question. The first relationship expert is the creator of human, which is God. An expert is somebody who has knowledge, full knowledge about what he does.
Okay.
And does it well. Then you say it's an expert. And not only knowing knowing about something and doing it well, but also living it.
Okay.
That makes him an expert in that field. So you look into his life and you can see an example of whatever he's speaking about.
Yes.
And so that is actually what a relationship, an expert is. So when you bring it to the marriage relationship aspect, we are talking about someone who speaks about issues of relationship, who has practical experience, or has gone through that line, and is sharing what he has. And you can also see that reflecting in his or her life or in a marriage. It's unfortunate. Should I say unfortunate? Should I say modern trend or whatever? That we are having a lot of people calling them marriage experts, sharing on issues of relationship and marriage, but yet when you look through their life, you cannot find that example in their life to impact. So the question then is that what have you learned that you say you are giving out? Because an expert, there should be something you have learned.
That's right.
For you to be able to give out. When we say this is an expert in a field, be it a gynecologist and all that, that means you can know that the person knows what he's giving out.
Yes.
But ironically, we find it that everybody is sharing about relationship issues and all that, but they have not been tested and proven by what they share. And so when you are tested and proven by what you share, I believed, that is my understanding, and with my wife, that we believe that when it comes to issues of relationship, it's not what you read in books.
The practicals.
It's the practicals. Your ability to practicalize what you learned would go a long way to show whether you really understand relationship or you don't understand it. Because marriage is a serious test. And if you really don't really understand it, you fail it. And I always say that you can live with everybody if you really understand what it takes to live. And remember, I don't know whether you've heard me say, which I know you have heard, once you are my daughter, you've heard me severally say when it comes to relationship that you cannot be alive to be in relationship. You have to die before you have to be in relationship.
Yes.
And so many of us are too alive. And that is why we are getting the challenges we are getting in relationship. But the very day you die to yourself, and this death, I'm talking about dying to yourself, dying to your ego, dying to the I syndrome you have, then you open up the door for somebody to have an input in your life. And that is what you can see between the two of us, myself and my wife. The very day I died to myself, without fighting her and resisting her, I'm able to receive her input into my life. And that has motivated and encouraged me this far and still going. And I get inspired to still go on. The very day she also died to herself, and I have a say in her life, it has also moved her from one level to another level. And she's also doing exploits in her fields and in her life. So it's all about dying to self. But so many of us are too alive, and yet we need results. You cannot be alive on the theater table and expect a successful surgery.
Papa, you know, those words are very profound.
Yes.
Very deep, very, very deep. And it takes a very discerning mind to really get the impact of dying to yourself before. They're so profound, you know, and I think that every time I hear you say it, it hits me the more because it's also something that is so difficult to do, and yet you make it so easy. You make it look so easy. I don't know how the two of you have done it, but when you even say it, I'm like, really? Die? You know, it's such a big deal, you know, because a part of you feels like you feel so vulnerable, you know, and I think that is what holds a lot of people back. And so the challenges that we find in relationships lately is because people want to be in relationships, but at the same time, they don't want to give their all.
Exactly.
You counsel couples who want to get married. You also counsel couples that are in marriages. How do we let ourselves go and just enjoy this beautiful thing called marriage? Because you guys do it so well.
I'll let Mommy come in and then I'll add to that side as well. So.
Talk to the young women.
Yes.
I think Pastor mentioned practicals. You have to live it. As you said earlier on, it's not an easy task. It's really, really a heavy task to carry. But you did mention one thing, which is to let go. We have to learn to let go. And if you cannot allow yourself to let go, then it will be very difficult for you to let go of somebody. You have to learn to forgive yourself before you can forgive somebody else. Now, when you said you love, as you love yourself, so will you love your neighbor. And neighbor comes in so many ways.
Yes.
Sometimes when we talk about love, we think it's about man and husband and wife who have gone to the pulpit to exchange vows. But what I have come to realize is that it's not about that, because it is not only that gives you that broken heart. It's about you giving your all, your trust, your confidence, and your everything to someone that you confide in. And the person betrays you. That is what we call broken heart. And so it's the same thing, that you have to give your all. And when you begin to give your all, you will learn to let go by the love that you've given to your all, which is your husband. Before you say I do, you should learn from the beginning and know his background. Know why you want to enter into that marriage. You have to have a vision for your marriage. You have to have a mission for your marriage. If not, then you will crash. Now, by having your vision and your mission, it will go a long way to guide you to know whether this man is the right man for my marriage. Because you first of all consider your old age than your early stage of life. When you're able to consider your old age, it will also guide you to know the right man to do what? To take the man to the pulpit. But we most at times fail in this way. All that we looked out for. I love this guy. And even if parents and friends are even giving us signals to even, withdraw back, we just consider the fact that the guy takes me out. He does everything for me, forgetting the future. And so it's always surprise to see the same man that said, be careful with the gutter, and say, can't you see, are you blind? And then we get shocked. But when we are able to go through counseling, it's also important. We are able to go through counseling. We will get to know that there are times that he will seriously tell you, can't you see, mind the gutter. Can't you see, mind the gutter. And also, one thing that troubles me a lot is about a woman. We fail to notice that we are to manage the home. I always bring this question up. If you love your son, excuse me, in quotes, will, maybe grow to become a bad boy, so to speak. Maybe a chain smoker or a naughty boy. Yet when he comes home, it pierces your heart. But you embrace the same son to make sure he eats. He's been taken care of. Why can't you see your husband the same way? And that is where the letting go of this pain comes in. So it's all about selfishness. When we become selfish, we find it difficult to let go. And when you don't let go, that is where it builds up to become a mountain, and then nothing can hold it than to pack your things and say, I am leaving. And so when you realize all these things and know that he has a background, I have a background. Different the background I have through my parents, different the background he has through his parents. Then we'll come together and understand whilst we are in the marriage. And then it will take, take us a long way to also, amend things when things go wrong. So I think that is...
So quickly, maybe if I can add something to it. I think that you rightly asked, you realize that, like Bible said, that if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? One thing I have realized from the counseling room and observed from marriages and all that, and the challenge simply has to be that people really don't understand the importance of marriage and relationship.
Yeah,
I think so. I think
and they looked at the flamboyance aspect of it. They looked at the wedding aspect of it. They looked at the entourage that will come, the fanciful nature and all those things, and qualify it as the marriage. But hey, that is not the marriage at all. The real marriage is the living together. And the living together, you might not get to know yourself during your courtship stage. So courtship is just to be able to explore, okay, before you enter into the marriage. But right now, most of us are not looking at the courtship. We are just looking at, let's get married quickly, and I don't care. How well do you know the man? How well do you know the woman? What is the man you are going to marry? What is the person's vision? What is he aspiring for? The woman you are marrying, what is the woman's vision? What is she aspiring for? When you come together, will you be able to manage it? Let me give you a typical example. You are a woman who is more like a domestic person. Then you get married to a pilot who is traveling every time.
Yeah.
And you are always at home. You will definitely be lonely.
Yeah.
And because it's the prestige in quote is a pilot, you want to enter into that marriage because you want to be called a pilot's wife.
Pilot's wife.
And now you enter into it and you are not happy. So it is not a pilot you need. You see, you don't marry titles, you marry a being.
Being. Oh.
And that being you are marrying have to be with you. So if you have taken your time to know the man's occupation, the man's drive, his passion, and everything informs your decision to be able to be with. If you are there and the man is a talkative, he talks. You by nature, you say you don't want anybody that talks, you don't want to talk. And yet you enter into a marriage with this talkative because you think he will buy you a limousine, buy you this, take you to parties and have fun. You have the fun. But that irritating aspect of him will definitely become a snare in your relationship. And that, if care is not taken, can really put the two of you apart. So it's important to know that when you see the weakness of the man and you can handle it, you go into it, because we are all not perfect. Okay, but because we lack the time to study one another and to know one another, we don't see our vulnerability areas. But we rather look at the beauty side and enter into it. I sit here with my wife. I have my challenge. She has a challenge. But because we've learned to love, we have learned to marry so that we can help our weakness to strengthen our strength. And that is the essence of marriage and relationship. Bible says in Genesis that the man and the woman were naked and they were not ashamed. That is transparency.
That's right.
That is opening up to each other. And listen to me. It's important for us to know that when you have a woman, Bible says that the man should love the woman, okay, as Christ loved the church. Now the Christ did not love the church, a perfect church. He loved a weak church. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And up to today, we are still working on our salvation.
Yes.
So that is the first point of essence. And the woman should submit as she submits to Christ, Ephesians chapter 5. Which means that before the woman is submitting, he's seeing a man. And when you come to the headship of the home, headship means responsibility.
That's right.
Headship means vision, the ability to see. Headship means being able to hear. Headship means being able to speak, to defend. So the man is supposed to be in charge and to show leadership. That is what it means. So the woman is submitting to leadership.
Leadership.
So it helps the woman to become complete. You don't compete with your wife, you complement your wife.
No way.
When I was getting to marry her, she said, I'm going to go into cakes, flora and all that. That is my passion. I told her, well, I foresee God calling me though, but I don't know when. But I'm not ready. But we married today. I have pushed her in that line. She's pursuing a joy and a career in the area of cakes, flora and cookery. And she's excited, just cakes and flora, and she's happy. I am also with ministry. She's backing me and supporting me as a of mommy as she's supposed to be, with other businesses and all that.
Sure.
It is all about understanding. When we tend to, and I tell people, marriage is about the black and the white key. The black key of the organ, the white key of the organ doesn't have the same color. Neither does he have the same tune. But each cannot do without itself.
Yeah,
For you to have a good melodious tune, you need to balance both the white and the black. And when they begin to play, you are excited. So you see people smile. People have asked that, do you quarrel before? And then we laugh. You understand? Because we have learned that it's a white and a black key. It's like the teeth and the tongue. You can never fight each other. You have your differences, but hey, you need to come back again and be able to continue. And that is the beauty of marriage and relationship. If you can learn to let go, if you can learn to know that we are all not perfect, we have our weaknesses, we are frail, then definitely there will be beauty in marriage and relationship.
Well, you've heard the man of God. You've heard the entrepreneur. You've heard the businessman. You have heard the husband. And you have heard my head pastor, Reverend Ismaila Awudu. Papa, it's been such an inspiration having you again on the show. We'll go for a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll wrap up, and I'm going to be doing my Ayesha moments with my head pastor and my house of mommy. Be right back.
It's Ayesha on the A Show.
Welcome back. It's time for Ayesha Moments. Like I said, we're going to be doing the Ayesha Moments with my head pastor, Reverend Ismaila Awudu, and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Josephine Ismaila Awudu. My name is Zainab Ayesha Pastor. It's a nodding thing here today, you know what I'm saying? And I'm excited. Don't blame me. It's not always that you have the people that impact your life and, you know, believe in you and inspire you and encourage you to go on. Come on your sets and just be a blessing. Mommy dearests, a few words to the young woman out there watching you and aspiring to be you. It's a journey of 1,000 miles, they say, but it starts somewhere.
Well, what I have to say to the young woman out there is that don't give up on yourself. Don't look down upon yourself. Be inspired and be encouraged. The sky is always your limit. With God, all things are possible. And have the I can do spirit. And truly, you can do it. Thank you.
There you have it. Mouse of Mommy has spoken. My papa will wrap up. Ayesha Moments, Nene. Yeah. Papa.
Well, I want to let all of your viewers out there, to let them know that there is one greatest thing that they should not let go. That is their self. No matter what you go through, don't lose yourself. Because God created you unique. And you are unique for yourself. Even when men don't believe in you, believe that your creator have a purpose for you. In my personal life, many has not believed in me. I was looked down upon. People rejected me. They never ever thought that I would become anything. But there was one believed that was in me, that the Lord God that allowed me to be born has a purpose for my life.
That's right.
I fought for that purpose. I reached out to that limit. I stretched my hand towards the sun, towards where God is calling me to. I paid a price. I walked a long distance. But today, I can testify to the glory of God that the Lord has brought me this far by grace. And for by that grace, is be able to move me from one level to the other. So the person watching us out there, if you also will believe in God, it doesn't matter where you find yourself now. You might not even be having clothing. You might not have a better place to sleep. You might be having challenges in your life. People have rejected you. They have been looked down upon you. Maybe you are entering into a bitter relationship, or you are being jilted by a man or something of that sort. Don't kill yourself. Don't give up. Maybe you have lost your job. You are looking for a job. Family doesn't even care about it. Even your pastor does not have faith in you. And even Christians or wherever you, whether a Muslim, anywhere, people are looking down upon you. You can't even find yourself. I just want you to know that, hey, you are on this earth because God has a reason for you. You won in the womb of your mother as the sperm that won the race. So you cannot look back. Trust in the Lord. Push through. And I believed with God all things are possible, and you will make it, because God has a purpose and a plan for you, and you shall never fail.
The man of God has spoken. The daughter of God will only say, doing what is right today means no regrets tomorrow. That is what I leave you with. Every time when I come your way and I sign off, doing what is right today means no regrets tomorrow. Let's learn to do right by ourselves so we don't have regrets tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. It's been another inspiring edition of The A Show. I am your girl, Ayesha. I am excited and grateful that you watched me today. I believe that you have been inspired, truly, and we have impacted on you tremendously. Thank you for watching. I love you for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.